The U.S. military has a variety of special operations groups. These include the Army Rangers, Green Berets, and Air Force Pararescuemen. But none of these units are as skilled as the Navy SEALs. Considered the most elite special operations unit in the world, they are trained to operate a variety of missions in any environment, including counterterrorism and unconventional warfare. They are also given the most classified equipment that suits the mission and environment they are in. But becoming a Navy SEAL is no easy ride. Candidates are pushed beyond their physical and mental limits, and very few get through. I had the opportunity to speak with someone from the military about these elite warriors and the brutal training and commitment these candidates must endure. My name is Teddy Brooks, and I'm here with Peter DeCola, recruiter of the U.S. Navy.
So I'm originally from Litchfield, New Hampshire. It's a small town in southern New Hampshire. I joined the Navy in 2011 after I graduated from high school. So I went to boot camp in January of 2012, and from there I went off to my training for the nuclear engineering program in the Navy. So I went through about 2 years of training to do that, and then I did nuclear and electrical engineering on board nuclear submarines. So I did that for about 4 years, and then I came to recruiting duty.
So how does one become a Navy SEAL?
From what I've heard from the people who have gone through the pipeline and the Navy SEALs that we work with, the hardest part is really the mental challenge when you're going through BUDS. So that's Basic Underwater Demolition School. That's their primary training for Navy SEALs. And a lot of them are very physically fit, and it is very physically challenging, the training, but the hardest part is the mental challenge that they go through.
I'm curious, what really separates those who make it through the training and those that don't make it through training?
Kind of going back, I'm gonna kind of sound like a broken record here, but with the hardest part for people and what separates the few who can make it through the training to those that can't make it through is really their mental fortitude, because you're going to have a lot of stress placed upon you when you're doing that training. So you need to find a way to deal with that, and not only just to overcome it, but to thrive in the stressful situations that you're going to be put in. And the few people that actually do make it through, that's really what sets them apart. Because again, a lot of the people that we send to go try out to be a Navy SEAL, they're very physically fit. Most of them can pass the fitness requirements very easily. It's really just those long nights, those long hours that you're going to work that are really going to set you over the top.
And I know a lot of people join the military for different reasons, but what made you want to, do this job?
I just kind of wanted a non-traditional path. Personally, I don't think I was quite ready to go to college because I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do right away. I knew I was smart. I wanted to go do something that I could, test myself out. I didn't really want to take on a bunch of student loan debt. So I went for the Navy. I did the nuclear power program. That's one of the tougher academic programs that we have in the military. And I really just wanted to kind of figure out what I wanted to do. And I think I was able to do that.
What's the difference between the Navy, all of the U.S. branches? How is the Navy different?
There's several different branches within the military. Military is kind of a general overarching term, for all of the armed forces for the United States. So we have the Navy, the Army, the Marines, the Air Force, and the Coast Guard, and now we have the Space Force as well. So really the Navy, I think, sets itself apart just by the different missions that we have. We're going to be working mainly on like the coastlines and things like that. We have a ton of different stuff that we can do in the Navy. A lot of people just think that you're going to be on ships and stuff like that, but we also have tons of stuff with aviation, intelligence, logistics, construction. Basically anything you can think of, the Navy has it. There's a huge medical field in the Navy, so if anyone's interested in that, they could do that. I'm big into engineering. Like, that's my main job in the Navy. I did nuclear and electrical engineering on submarines. So basically anything you can think of, the Navy has it.
And I know a lot of people join the military for different reasons, but what made you want to, do this job?
Quite honestly, for me, I'd kind of narrowed in on wanting to join the military, and then I kind of decided on the Navy because my dad was in the Navy well before I was born. And so I was just looking up different jobs within the Navy, and I was like, submarines sound really cool. And then I, did more research, and I was like, wow, submarines are nuclear powered. I wonder who does that. Someone has to be trained to do that. And I found the nuclear engineering program. And so I read more about that. It sounded really challenging, and I really wanted to do it. So I happened to qualify for it off of the ASVAB. That's the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery, and I went off and did that training.
Of the high-tech equipment they use, but where did they exactly get that equipment?
So that really varies depending on the mission. From the Navy SEALs I've talked to, again, it can be very mission specific. I'm not going to go too much into like weaponry and stuff like that. But yeah, it really depends on where they're going. So on my submarine, we had something called a SEAL delivery vehicle. It's basically like a mini submarine on the back of the submarine. So if they were going to deploy from that, they would carry a lot more, scuba equipment and diving gear. Vice if they were just doing a land-based mission, or if they were going to deploy from an airplane or a helicopter, they might need stuff to or skydiving equipment to jump from a plane, or rappelling equipment to come out of a helicopter, something like that. So it really just comes down to the different missions that they're on, because SEALs can kind of go anywhere. I mean, SEAL stands for sea, air, and land. So again, it depends on where they're going.
What really separates those who make it through the training and those that don't make it through training? And why do you think so many people quit exactly?
It all kind of depends on the different needs of the teams. Most of the teams do the same exact thing. It just depends on if they're on the East Coast or the West Coast. If you're on the West Coast, they're going to be based out of San Diego. If they're on the East Coast, they're going to be based out of Virginia. And which team you're on doesn't really matter. The only exception is SEAL Team 6, which people have heard about in movies and TV shows and video games and stuff like that. But that's very classified on what they exactly do.
What advice would you give someone who wants to join the military?
Try to sit down with a recruiter towards the end of your junior year, but really just make sure that you're good medically and physically, and then just kind of research the different requirements. A lot of people think that once they decide to join the military, they don't have to worry about school anymore. You absolutely do have to worry about school. You have to make sure that you're on track to graduate high school before you join. When you're joining as a high school senior, you need to graduate high school, or else we're going to pull your contract and you will not ship out for boot camp. So you need your high school diploma. So stay focused there. If you've never really done any physical activity before, work out a little bit. You don't have to worry about that too much, because we'll kind of train you up to where you need to be before you leave for boot camp and everything. But at this stage, just do your basic research, kind of get an idea for what you want to do, and then once you set up a meeting with the recruiter, we'll kind of guide you on from there, because the requirements can vary for different people based on their medical backgrounds and things like that.
What exactly has the military, impacted your life?
So being a Navy SEAL, and this kind of carries over to being in the Navy in general, but a program like that, that has to be your job almost 24/7. You need to be ready to go 24/7. You just need to be, you need to be cognizant of every decision you make, when you're at work and when you're not at work. In general, for me, being in the Navy has made me, I'd say, a lot more responsible with my time, inside of work and outside of work. In general, it hasn't really changed me too much. I'm still myself when I'm outside of work. I go home. I'm not wearing this uniform at home. I put on my normal people clothes. But yeah, I think the Navy has made me a lot more adventurous, because I came from a small town in New Hampshire to traveling all over the United States, traveling all over the world, and I wanted to try things from different cultures and different areas, and I really put myself out there. So I think the Navy has really, made me a better person.